You're listening to Hotep Ish with your host, Dewan B. Intelligent Ish Talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
What's up? We out here talking about prime expectations. Deion got the world of the weight on him right now. People who don't give a fuck about football, including me, talking about him. So you about to get my perspective because I am a former football fan. I stopped taking football serious back in 2016. But Deion, his years playing and everything, those are the years that I watched football the most. Deion, I remember when Deion came in. He was right behind Bo Jackson, because that was the era when you had two sport athletes. Bo Jackson was the first one I remember from when I was a kid. Bo Jackson was my first hero outside of Magic Johnson. My childhood heroes was Magic Johnson, Michael Jackson, and Bo Jackson. Jacksons and MJs was my Michael Jackson, Magic Johnson, and Bo Jackson. That was my holy trinity when I was a kid. Oh, and Mike Tyson. Everyone else, like Michael Jordan, didn't do it for me. Everyone else liked Jordan. Jordan was cool to me. I liked Jordan, but Jordan never did it for me. Mine was Michael Jackson, Bo Jackson, Mike Tyson, and then came along this guy named Deion Sanders. I remember Deion had the Jerry curl. Y'all remember Jerry curl Deion Sanders, Atlanta Braves? And I'm setting this groundwork up for a reason. It's going to get us into our show. But Deion, Deion Sanders played for the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Braves at the same time. And I remember saying like, man, Bo Jackson, this dude is the only dude that can do two sport athlete. Then my older brother was like, it's this other guy out there. It's this other guy named Deion Sanders. I was like, who the hell is Deion Sanders? Because no, this is before NFL Sunday Ticket. You couldn't, and this is before the internet. I'm from LA. LA never gave a fuck about other cities. So that, the local sports didn't talk about other cities. We only talked about LA shit, And then I remember watching this cat play. Baseball because my grandfather was a huge Atlanta Braves fan. And then on cable back in the day, on Atlanta Braves played on TBS damn near every day. And I remember seeing this Jerry Curl nigga. Bo Jackson had gotten hurt by then. He wasn't playing anymore. And then here come this cat. And then I really became aware of who he was when he beat Andre Rison's ass. Y'all remember that? Andre Rison was talking shit, and Deion went to whack, 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 whack. Oh man, salute chat room. I'm gonna get to you. Chat room. I'm gonna get to y'all in a second. I just want to come in and set the groundwork, and then I'm gonna get to y'all. But Deion was a tough motherfucker, and so that was when I realized who Deion Sanders was. That's when I saw who Deion Sanders was. And then I'll never forget with Deion, it was Deion Sanders, Andre Rison rivalry. And then there was this one game in particular where Deion caught a helicopter from the Braves game to the Falcons game. And I remember when that happened, my dad was like, shit. Them white folks about to get in his ass now. White people don't want to see no nigga catching a helicopter from one game to a next. And sure enough, it was off to San Francisco. Deion goes. Let me play this. This is what I'm muted, but this is it. This is the fight. This is what happened. Bop, 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 bop. That's who Deion Sanders is. And this happened because the backstory of that fight was Deion Sanders and Andre Rison were both on the Atlanta Falcons the year before that. And I told you, after Deion had that helicopter ride to the game, you knew they were about to ship his ass out of Atlanta. And Andre Rison was still there. He was the star of the Atlanta Falcons. And Deion's over with San Francisco. And when all Deion needed was to get to the 49ers. 49ers this is when prime Jerry Rice. This is when Ken Norton Jr. had went over there from the Cowboys. That was, I think, the 49ers' best team. Dana Stubblefield on the defensive line. You had all them. You had all those players. That was a squad. And he went over there and he changed their fortunes and brought them a Super Bowl. The Cowboys with the big boys on top. Deion went over there to San Francisco and changed the culture of that team. That 49ers squad was good, but they kept getting their ass kicked when the game mattered. They was losing to Brett Favre. You know what I mean? They was losing. They were losing to the Cowboys. But when Deion came, they of course they gave the white boy Steve Young all the credit. But when Deion left, Steve Young never won again. And Deion left and went right back to the Cowboys and brought them a Super Bowl. He changed the culture of the Cowboys because the Cowboys were the shit. When what's his name was a coach. What was that white boy name out of Miami? Jimmy Johnson. When he was a coach. But when he left and they replaced Jimmy Johnson with Barry Switzer, the Cowboys lost a little bit of steam. But it was Deion leaving the 49ers and going up to the Cowboys that brought them that Super Bowl. It was his energy. He had an effect on the team. He changed the way Michael Irvin. I remember he changed Michael Irvin's whole swag. And the same with the 49ers. I remember when the 49ers won that year, Jerry Rice bounced a little different. The greatest wide receiver of all time had a whole different walk that season. William Floyd, bar none Floyd, number 40. I remember him. William Floyd looked like a motherfucking Hall of Famer that year Deion was with the 49ers. He ended up being a decent fullback, but the year Deion just had an effect on that 49ers team. The same way he did with the Cowboys. And when the Cowboys started not winning those last few Deion years, it was when Deion had the turf toe. Because the Cowboys was going to go back in 96. But then Deion got that turf toe in 96. And he dealt with turf toe 96, 97. And when he was dealing with those turf toe issues, he couldn't play regularly. And that affected the Cowboys from not really winning like that turf toe issue. If Deion didn't get turf toe, the Cowboys probably would have won 2 more Super Bowls. But never fret. When Deion got older and went over to the Baltimore Ravens, he brought them niggas a Super Bowl. So I'm saying that to say everywhere Deion has gone, everywhere he's gone, he's won. And he's displayed winning characteristics. He's been high energy. And he's changed the culture of multiple environments. From the Falcons to the Atlanta Braves to the Cowboys to the 49ers to the Ravens. Deion Sanders has always been that guy. And with that being said, the groundwork is laid. I want to say what's up to the chat room. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for joining the chat room. What's up, everybody up in there? Dexter Robinson, Eddie Willis, Isaiah Edwards, Stars. Salute to everybody up in here. Funky Homo Sapien. Appreciate y'all for joining. Hit the like button and please share. Please hit the like button and please share. And go to DewanB.com. Go to DewanB.com. Right now. Go to the shop. Got my new James Brown shirts. The Godfather. Get your Godfather t-shirts. Get your live drum sample packs for all you musicians out there. Yeah. These limited edition t-shirts, I'm going to take these down by the end of the month, and they won't be back up until next June to next spring for Juneteenth. So these Juneteenth t-shirts, order yours now if you want it fresh for next year. Because these are about to come down off the website. All right. We got the good classic, the hoodies, the Black American Music Family Tree poster, Mothers of the Movement. Get that. And then go on over to the business side and go to breakthroughcards.com and book your sessions. Salute to everybody, to all my cardology students. We had a dope-ass class this morning. Appreciate y'all for joining. For those of you who want to learn how to read cards, appreciate y'all. We had a dope-ass class this morning. But we here talking about prime time, prime expectations. So that's the foundation for what we're talking about today. Deion Sanders and the winner that he is. So now what we're dealing with is these gaudy expectations of people that are so unrealistic. I'm going to first start off by saying, look, Deion, they will not go perfect this season. They'll lose. They'll probably lose 4 or 5 games, especially because of that defense. And I don't watch football that much, but I have been watching these games. But I see that that vulnerability in the middle. When that front seven can't stop the run, and it does a marginal job with mid-level passing and zone defenses, the minute they face UCLA, USC, or Oregon, it's a wrap. They're going to get sliced and diced. And I said that to say, when that happens, the same people that's out there shit like praising Deion going to be like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, no, the team ain't that good. You know, this team going to be 2 or 3 years away from, this team is at least 2 seasons away from having the talent that Deion can recruit. You know, having the talent for Deion. So temper your expectations as far as his wins go. They're going to beat all the bad teams, and they're going to split amongst the good teams. You know, still at the end of the day, it comes down to talent. So on that end, chill. It was a dope class today, Star. Yeah, it was a fun class today. And And if y'all want me to, I might even actually read some of Deion's cards later on. He's a 4 of diamonds, you know. Strong on values. But I want to temper people's expectations again. Because, no, he will not win every game. He will lose games. And some games with that defense, they're going to get flat out waxed. And it's not about reaching out to the Warren Sapp, the coach. He has a big stat. It's not about that. It's about talent. They have good coaching. But they still have Colorado won 1 game last year. It's the reason why they won one game last year. They weren't that good. So this year he's able to transfer a lot of his guys over, and he's going to need to recruit more moving forward. You know, so, you know, you can coach all you want, have all the schemes you want. But if your nose tackle can't suffocate 2 offensive linemen, then if all your center, if your front 2, your 2 defensive, your down linemen, if those 2 in the middle or 1 in the middle, if you run in 3-4, if they can't suffocate and take on those blocks, then everything is around is going to crumble, no matter how good the coaching scheme is. You need those front 2 to stuff that middle, and you're going to need your secondary, your second level to stop the run and be able to get to the quarterback, and you're going to need your ends to be able to rush the quarterback and minimize their time. If you don't have the talent to get the other team's quarterback on his ass, then no matter how good the coach is, when you face a good team, you're going to get waxed. So give Deion a couple more years to recruit talent that can get to the quarterback and stop the run. Then at that point, we're going to be cooking. But that's why I'm having this show right here. Because again, people are going to be like, oh, it's a coach, it's this. Well, if Deion did this, because they're going to lose. And these same people who are on the Deion bandwagon right now saying he did see that are going to be the same ones criticizing him in 2 or 3 weeks when they lose 2 games in a row. Saying what he should do. No, the team isn't that good. So they're going to lose. So chill. Dex Robert said, you out in Denver? And you tell the white folks aren't digging the black side Deion represents. I dig it, bro. I believe it. I got a homeboy out there in Colorado Springs. I'm going to ask him what's going on. So this is what's going on. I'm going to talk about it from the black point of view and from the white point of view. On the black side of the game, you got the people who are going to overinflate his expectations. Then you got the other ones saying that, man, why did Deion leave an HBCU? He could have built the HBCU up. People. Jackson State is listen to the last word. Jackson State is a state-run university. State-run university. It's not a black-owned business. Okay? Just like Colorado State is a state-owned university. State-run. So whether Deion raises the money for Jackson State, which is in the state of Mississippi, or if he raises the money for Colorado State, the state of Colorado, he's raising the money for white people. Let me say that again. Either way it goes, Deion Sanders is making money for white people. So when I hear people say, we should have stayed at the HBCU, HBCUs are still white-controlled institutions. Now they're white-controlled institutions that give black people jobs and hire, and they bring black people into their universities, of course. But it's still not a black business. So miss me with all that. He could have did this for the black. It's not a black business. is still white controlled. Second of all, for all you niggas talking about what Deion should have done, all up in his pocket saying he shouldn't have took the money, he should have stayed. Okay then, if Deion was going to stay, were you willing to do this? See, when Colorado wanted Deion Sanders, what happened? They raised $28 million, setting the record. Alumni, Colorado fans rallied with $28 million to keep Deion Sanders. You see that? See, one thing we be missing as black people, a major issue we have is this Messiah Savior complex. It's like the world is supposed to stop when one black person becomes successful. He's now supposed to be Jesus, Moses, the 12 disciples. The nigga, he's supposed to be Mary. He's supposed to be John the Baptist. He's supposed to be John the Saint. And if he don't walk the dotted line and cross all his T's like you niggas want, he's now Judas and the devil. I can't with you niggas. That's why I'll never put me in no fucking leadership position. If people try to say if somebody tried to say DeJuan is a black leader, you know the first thing I do, I'd pull my dick out and piss on the sidewalk to show the world that I'm a animalistic ass nigga too, just like everybody else. The minute somebody becomes good at something or becomes great at something, a black person, now all of a sudden he's supposed to be the end all be all for all of black people's problems. No, fuck that. No, fuck that. Whatever it is you think you need or you think black society needs, you be it. And if you ain't willing to be it, shut the fuck up. Or if you can't be it, put money behind it. Either you be that thing that you think black people need, or if you see someone being that thing and you ain't got the time nor wherewithal to be that, then put money behind the people who are doing that thing. Or shut the fuck up. Niggas always want somebody to be their savior. Deion ain't your savior. He done already saved the 49ers. He done already saved and gave the 49ers and the Cowboys and the Ravens. No, not the Ravens. But he gave the Cowboys and the 49ers their last 2 Super Bowls. What more do you want from me? Shit. Nigga done turned around Jackson State. Now he turning around Colorado State. And you niggas is mad he ain't doing it because the way, at the time and the place and the way you don't want him to get it done. I'm tired of all you niggas waiting on somebody else or some other black person to save you. Why can't a nigga just be great at what he do? See, I'm the kind of person, you ain't got to be Mr. Civil Rights Advocate when it comes to me. Y'all know me. As much shit as I talk about race, that's my duty. That's my job. That's something that God put in me to talk about. He didn't put it in the next person. For somebody like me who talks about race the way I do, I'd rather 98% of you niggas shut the fuck up talking about race. I'm cool with Deion just being a great coach. He ain't got to speak up for black people. Now, don't coon. Now, that's one thing I will say. As long as you don't coon, as long as you don't come around saying, I got mine, what about you? As long as you don't go around talking something, what about black on black crime? Then we good. As long as you ain't one of the niggas talking about some stop Asian hate and we need to do better, then we good. You ain't gotta be no civil rights advocate. We need less civil rights advocates because most of these fake ass civil rights advocates are just people who got their own fucking traumas they haven't worked through. And so instead of working through their own traumas and working through their own issues, they try to become leaders of movements. And then they end up becoming people like Brother Polite, fucking on little ass kids and shit. Dr. York and all that sick shit we got in our community. Sorry ass preachers. People who are so-called leaders taking advantage of their leadership to coerce our women and getting bags out of our women because they know our women are at a down time in our evolution, and all they need is a man to say the right thing, and the women gonna give up the bag. And you got niggas who know that, and they taking advantage of it. Fuck you niggas. There's too many of them hoe ass niggas in our community taking advantage and asking for a bag because we at a weak time in our existence right now. Nigga, the goddamn black first so-called conscious community is too goddamn crowded if you ask me. I'd rather you just be great at what you do, take care of your kids and family, love your neighbor, and more and more, love yourself and love your family and move on. If that's what 95% of black people were on, just loving themselves and their neighbors and their family and taking care of one another, they ain't got to say shit about race. Let the 5% of us who can articulate this shit properly be the ones that talk. Because another thing when you get to talking about race, half these mumbo jumbo mouth having ass niggas don't even know how to articulate what the hell they saying. Out there talking like Ben Crump. And no disrespect to Ben Crump, but I feel like every time that nigga started talking, he set us back 2 decades at least. God damn, brother. I wish that brother could just stay in the courtroom, do what he do, keep fighting the good fight, my brother, but stay off that mic. Sound like you just swallowed a bowl of shit before you got to talking. God damn. Shit. So, we don't need Deion to be a voice for black people. We need Deion to be the great coach that he is and live by example. And live by example. And you take from his greatness and you apply it to your greatness. Because you're not going to be a great football coach, a great cornerback. But some of y'all are great mothers that really know how to run a family. Some of y'all are great fathers who have an effect on your son's friends. Some of you brothers out there, the biggest stage you're going to have is between your sons and your daughter, your children and their friends. But when your children's friends are around, give them some game. That's where you could be Deion and whatever you do. Be the Deion Sanders of truck drivers, nigga. Get from the truck to run it to not only having a fleet of trucks, but having a dispatch company to go along with it. And if you mad at Deion for leaving and leaving Jackson State, be like these folks here. Look what happened. Colorado signed Deion to a $29.5 million deal without even having the money to pay for it. We don't have the money yet, but I know we'll have it. The fans donated a record $28 million to the athletic department and sold out season tickets for the first time in 27 years. What's 27 years ago? Was that when Cordell Stewart was still playing with them? Remember Slash, Cordell Stewart? Come to find out he slashed in other things too later on. No, Cordell Stewart was gone by then. So the people who wanted Deion, they didn't go criticize Deion for demanding too much money. They put the money up. This is something I want black people to study when it comes to how white folks move and white supremacists move. We sometimes think that white supremacy and the white supremacists and white folks, everything is just tiddly-doo done. And just because they're white, it's going to happen. No. Whatever white people have a certain principle that they live by. And it's a principle, it's a universal principle. They live by a universal principle that we need to get back to in a lot of ways. And that is pay for what you need and want. Pay for it. Be willing to kick in. Have skin in the game. You want Deion Sanders? Write $1,000 check to the school, or $10,000 check. And if 10, 15,000 of y'all, 20, 30,000 people, I know Jack State got a whole bunch of alumni, and for the people who aren't alumni who just want him to stay, get 20, 30,000 people to write $1,000 check, $500 check. Put some money in the pot. See, that's something these white supremacists understand. They understand if they want to get some shit done, they got to put some motherfucking money in the pot. Meanwhile, we got the so-called pro-blacks talking about some, well, he should have stayed. No, nigga, you should have wrote a check if you wanted him to stay. How about that? Money talks, bullshit walks. Money talks, bullshit walks. Oh, yeah, it was Cordell Stewart and Rashad Salam. Yeah, that was last year they sold out. But Cordell Stewart, again, another black person. That's when black quarterbacks were a novelty back then. They were new. You had this quarterback named Cordell Stewart. Old boxhead ass nigga. And he had that. He was on there with Rashad Salam. Yep. Now he was with Colorado in 90. I think he was with Colorado in 92 through I think 94. I think 92 through 94 was when he was with Colorado. And he got to the Steelers in 95. So yeah, that was 27 years. Yep. He was on that team. That was the last time they sold out. Cordell Stewart. Black man. It's always us. Funny how they are, right? It's funny how these white supremacists are. They'll talk all kind of shit. But the last time this sorry-ass school sold out, the last time they sold out season tickets was the last time, I won't say the last time they had a black quarterback, because I don't know all the quarterbacks that they had. But it was the last time they had an exciting black quarterback, Cordell Stewart. Because Cordell Stewart would be quarterback. That nigga would punt. That nigga would play receiver. He would play running back. So this is a lesson to the pro-blacks. Before you get on another black man for not being your version of Marcus Garvey, if you ain't willing to put money up to influence that black person's decision, shut the fuck up. I would like to have seen Coach Prime stay at Jackson State, but I didn't have no money on it. So what the fuck am I talking about? What are we talking about here? Like, for real. I was on team. Yeah, I was on team. It will be dope to see Deion stay at Jackson State. It will be dope to see more former NFL players with a big energy come to the HBCUs and recruit at the HBCUs. That would be dope. But let me tell you something. I ain't putting my money behind it. So since I ain't gonna put my money behind what I feel should be right, why in the hell? How can I honestly judge a man for money making his decision? Money made my decision, so I'd expect money gonna make his decision too. Just because he's a good football player don't make him any better of a man than me or you. Hell, the nigga wrote a goddamn song called Hey, Must Be the Money. Shit, what else do you niggas need? So that's what I gotta say when it comes to that. You know, if you're gonna be pro-black and say the black man should have stayed here, the black man should have built, then your black ass need to put some money up. How about that? And if you ain't willing to put your money where your mouth is, then God damn it, don't get mad at the next man when he makes a decision based off the money. Money talks, bullshit walks. Period, point blank. Hey, call in, nigga. Hey, so that was Larry Ho ass. But you're right, and let's Bismarck T made a good comment. One of the rare times this nigga said something worth mentioning. Bismarck T said they were stealing from Deion. Breaking into his car. You goddamn right. They were stealing from Deion. Deion had to deal with poor facilities. They broke into the nigga car, stole his boombox. Like, goddamn, what else do you want from them? So, Deion has these prime expectations. He's expected to carry the weight of the world, win, not lose. What do some of y'all think about this? Call in. Let me see what y'all think about this whole Deion situation and his prime expectations. 323-744-7425. Me personally, I'm tired of black people investing so much time in sports. We invest way too much time in sports. We haven't been able to handle sports well as a culturally. But I like Deion's approach to sports because he coaches it the way a real man should coach, the way I used to coach basketball. Sports is a simulation of life. And while you got these young men that you coaching, everything that you talk about on that field and on that court should come back to life. It should come back to life. You use sports to build men. And what ends up happening is sports turns a lot of men into baby boys. And that's unfortunately been the way we've approached it as a people culturally. And that's something we got to flip. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, DeJuan? My name is Lorenzo. I'm calling from Aurora, Colorado.
Are you over in Colorado? You on the
no-footed
ass nigga. What's up?
I'm Dexter Robinson in the chat.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. But, you know, being from Jackson, Mississippi, I'm going to tell you, Jackson is ratchet like a motherfucker, y'all. And it's nowhere in Colorado that compares to the poverty that you see in the South. You know, whether it be by design or whatever you want to say, it's just the reality is that, the infrastructure of the city is dilapidated. poverty is rampant, and somebody like Deion is like a lure that's gonna get snatched up one way or another. Somebody's gonna try to jack him or something more than what happened to him. I'm talking about like anything could have happened. So as far as a man trying to put his family in a safe situation, it don't even make sense for people to even try to argue that like Deion should have stayed in Jackson. Ain't shit in Mississippi for a man like Deion. Just being for real.
Hey, you just said some real stuff. And you said by design, whatever. We whether it's by design or whatever, it is what it is. And that's the situation that we in, living in reality, 2023. That's what it is. And so since that's the current reality of where he lives, you're right. Deion is the kind of person that could be wearing sweats and a t-shirt and still shine. He just got that kind of personality. And when you in an environment of where everything is kind of dull and suppressed, that shiny object, all it takes is one fool. That's all it takes. And it's more likely in an environment where things don't shine versus where when you look at Deion's money in Colorado, you got white folks with regular jobs that make just as much. That we don't know who the fuck they is. So he could at least, and I say this to people, and it's not pro-blacks that get mad at me for saying this. Well, no. When you get to a certain level financially, you got to be in different environments. That's just what it is.
Exactly. You can't, that's what got Young Dolph killed. Being for real, trying to stay right there where you from. You know what I'm saying? There's so many entertainers that
Nipsey too.
Yeah, you normally get killed where, what was the brother that went to the wrong waffle and chicken and waffle spot out there?
PNB Rock, yep. About a year ago, last week.
So, it's real. You know what I'm saying? Sad to say, but we are poor people. You know, and a lot of us make poor decisions. And it ain't just poor, just financially poor. It's just we eat poor diets, so we make poor decisions. A lot of shit we do, it's just poor character. You know what I'm saying? And the ones of us that's trying to be about something and stand about something, a lot of times it's people making poor decisions that want to prey on that. And that's just the reality of it.
That's the long and short of it, brother, man. Thanks for giving us a call.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Yeah, he said some real shit. That was some real shit he said. You know, I'm glad he brought that perspective. A salute. Because, and I'm a South Central LA nigga myself. And it's like what Dick Gregory used to always say. You don't come around the hood shining like that. You don't drive a Rolls Royce to the bottom of the hood. You don't do that. You just don't do that to people. Deion, in order for him to fit within the environment of Jackson, Mississippi, he'd have to dim his light. Deion would have to dim his light. And I'm never in favor of anyone dimming their light. You go to an environment that can handle your light. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, sir. How you doing? This is Yameta calling from Houston, Texas.
Yameta from Houston, Texas. What's on your mind, brother?
Well, matter of fact, I like your show a lot. I've been subscribed to you for about 6 months now. But I just wanted to make mention of racism. Now, the brother that just got off, he was talking about basically, Deion Sanders and what he had to go through Jackson State, the black-on-black crime. But I'm on a website that I go on from time to time on the internet. I won't say its name. But there are ages from 12 to 30 to 40, but mostly 12 to 25. And these white kids on here call me the N-word. They have guns on it. They be 12 years old calling you the N-word and talking you out. And what I was saying was a lot of these young kids are really more racist than the older generation that was back in the 60s and 70s and even 50s. Because I've seen it with my own eyes online. And it's that shot that guy took on Travis Hunter. It's almost like that white boy was just hating the fact of all the attention that Colorado was getting, the hip-hop type culture that's attached to it. And they really, these kids, some of them, not all of them, that are of other races really have a racist type mentality. that's kind of all I wanted to just mention. You know, because Travis Hunter shouldn't have got hit after that play like that, man.
Yeah, they have that, and if you ever been on PlayStation, I've been playing on my PlayStation Online for I don't know how long, and it's always been like that. That's why I don't even turn my mic on with Call of Duty. It's always been like that. You kick somebody's ass on NBA 2K, they're gonna call you all kind of niggers. But look, that's the situation that we're in. That's the world that we're in. We got to know that. But here's the difference when it comes to Deion and where he is in Colorado. Colorado and Mississippi are equally racist. It's a different style of racism, but it's equal racism. You know, the liberal racism versus the conservative racism. The difference is us as black people. And I'm saying this is something that we have to we working through. But there is an element of us, and we cannot ignore that string of us that preys on other black people. Like, for instance,
we do have a problem.
We have that string. And for much racism as white folks talk, they don't never, if rarely, ever pull it when it comes to us. You don't hear about the white meth heads. White meth heads rob other white people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
White criminals tend to rob other white people. When black folks' houses get hit, it's usually a nigga. And when they get their car broken into, it's usually a nigga. Just like if a Mexican's car get broken into, it's probably gonna be a Mexican. So we gotta understand that, and these people prey on our people. And when you get to a certain level, you have to separate yourself, man. But thanks for giving us a call.
Okay, I appreciate you. Take care, bro.
Yes, sir. Like, it's here in LA, man. I remember All-Star Weekend 2003. Some niggas asked Carmelo Anthony to come to the car real quick to take a picture. He was a rookie. He dipped down to go take that picture. They robbed that nigga. Niggas used to get robbed here in LA a lot, man. Go back and listen to this interview with Big Gip. Big Gip did an interview on Art of Dialogue, talking about how, like, during award shows, how all them niggas that was at that award, those different, like the BET Award or whatever, I think the Soul Train Awards, every nigga that was at that award show got their house hit here in LA or their hotel room hit. That happens. It's an interview with Big Gip on Art of Dialogue. I heard that story from a couple different celebrities. And it was crazy hearing Big Gip's version. And not just celebrities. Hell, as a kid, I remember hearing that story because it was one dude that went to my church. It was a couple dudes that went to my church. Funny how all the criminals I knew back in the 90s, I knew them niggas from church. Well, but one of my boys from church, he was, I remember when it happened, his little brother was one of the niggas going up in houses getting people shit. I remember them telling us about it at church. Hey, yeah, we niggas was talking all kind of shit. Hey, yeah, nigga. Man, all of the, the Wompty Wamps and the Wompty Wamps went to this house and such and such. He got a watch, boom, 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 boom from somebody, boom, boom, boom. I remember I used to hear these stories at church back in the 90s. And in high school, from different friends. And it's crazy 20 years, 30 years later, now that YouTube was around and all them old rappers are telling stories. It's crazy hearing like Reggie Wright and all those stories he be telling. It's crazy hearing these stories now because growing up in LA, I remember I always knew somebody that was involved in those stories when it happened. And you weren't sure if niggas was lying because y'all know how niggas be lying. So you hear what they say, but you be like, did that really happen? Yeah, man, it really happened. You be like, and now YouTube is around and Art of Dialogue and Vlad these interviews. You be like, well, shit, that really did happen. So that's just the world that we in. And so Deion had to go to a world that can handle his stardom. Like, that's why a lot of athletes come to LA. I remember when Shaq came to the Lakers. Shaq was like, being that big of a fish in Orlando, especially back then, it's smaller. Orlando's bigger now, but especially early 90s Orlando, it really wasn't that big. Shaq talked about how hard it was to move around Orlando versus when he came to LA, he could fit in. He was just one of many stars. You could be a celebrity in LA and people not attack you and just blend in. Hell, especially if you come around niggas like me, born and raised from LA, we don't even like talking to celebrities when we see them. Cause I be thinking, man, I be seeing people I look up to, I like, and I be like, man, I don't want them to think I'm a bitch ass nigga, so I don't say nothing to them. I be at some of these parties, the homie, I be sitting in the cut, like, I be having to get past that LA in me. I be having to get past that and like introduce myself to people and say hi to people, because my point of view is, man, I grew up listening to Ice Cube. Man, fuck him and his crew. Go back and listen to America's Most Wanted. Get off my bitch and get off my dick and tell your bitch to come here. That's one of my favorite songs ever by Ice Cube. Just period. Get off my dick and tell your bitch to come here. Go back and listen to that song from Ice Cube. Fellas, shake my hand and make it a firm shake. Say what's up and then break. Meaning, don't be all goofy up in a nigga's face. That's the principles I was raised on. And that's how LA niggas get down. So a lot of cats move here and become celebrity, and they don't mind living here because that's for the most part the get down here. But Isaiah said Shaq was getting extorted in LA allegedly. Yes, he was. But partially because when Shaq came in the 90s, he wanted to be gangster, allegedly. I know a few niggas. I know stories about Shaq in the 90s, in the early 2000s when he was with the Lakers. This nigga Shaq wanted to be friends with the wrong people. Ended up doing too much. And whoopty whamp. Hey, I got a plumbing emergency in my apartment. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. I gotta answer this phone call. Sorry about that, y'all. My cardiology, my students this morning had to deal with the same thing. We didn't get I had to take a few breaks from our cardiology. Star in the chat room should tell you. We had to take a few breaks from our cardiology class this morning because, oh my God, I'm dealing with some major plumbing issues at one of my buildings. So, oh shit. It's almost over, y'all. It's almost over. I work 7 days a week. God damn, I can't get a day off. Shit. So, and that's real talk. S represent. If you've been around enough people with status, you realize that they're doing the same things we all doing, just on a different level. They gotta pay their bills, clean their house. They got kids that don't listen. They got family members that be doing too much. They got people promising them that with fake ass promises. They got people lying to them. People scheming with them. The same shit the rest of us go through, just on a different level. So, yes, but from what I hear, yes, Shaq was kicking it with certain people here in this city and calling people on other people. And then when it came back to his ass, now all of a sudden, that's why I look at Shaq. I'm like, I love Shaq the player. Shaq the player is one of my favorite all-time players. Shaq the player is one of my 5 favorite all-time players. Always will be. But Shaq the man, he's doing all kind of weirdo shit. And then all of a sudden he older, that nigga King Cop. You gotta follow the law. And he's always been down with that police stuff, going back to Orlando. But he was always playing police and gangster at the same time during his prime here in LA. That nigga was Mr. Officer and Mr. Gangster. I would say I won't say Shaq was playing Mr. Gangster adjacent. Let's put it like that. He was playing Mr. Gangster adjacent. And then Mr. Trick with the ladies. Mr. Trick with the ladies, Mr. Gangster adjacent with the streets, and Mr. Cop with the police and the white folks. So now that he older, people need to follow the law and be more consistent. And I believe in funding the police. When I see Shaq saying shit like that, I be like, nigga, you niggas like you are the problem. Because when you in your 20s and got some money, you want to be involved in all kind of weird shit. When it was niggas like me walking around, I've never played with that gangster lifestyle. Being born and raised here, that's never been something to play with. You don't play with gangsters. You don't play with that. But I always saw these niggas that moved to LA, Shaq, hell, even Tupac, rest in peace. And I love Tupac. But I've seen Chris Brown, what's his name? Soulja Boy. These people come to LA, Lil Wayne. They come around here and they take on that personality. And that makes it worse because most of us who are born and raised here are trying to get away from that. Most young men in LA don't want to be associated with that. Don't want to be a part of that. I'm talking about South Central LA. But then you got these niggas from like San Bernardino, the outlying areas, fucking Pasadena, thinking this shit's a game, calling each other blood and cuz, and thinking this shit's a fucking game, and that perpetuates the bullshit. When those of us raised in the devil's den see what it is, and we don't like it. And we don't like it. Somebody said it was pot gay. Man, if you don't, man, we ought to ban this nigga for even asking that question. Although I see, man, don't ban them. I'm just saying, look. Just because the white supremacists suggest something, don't mean niggas got to entertain it. No, Pac wasn't gay. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Vic Stat out of Ohio.
Yes, sir. Out of Ohio. What's on your mind, brother?
Man, I just think it's a shame that some of these HBCU critics, they don't want to look in the mirror, when it comes time to like raising money for their schools and having their own booster clubs.
Man,
but then they want to jump down somebody else's throat when it comes to them taking a bigger bag for another job. Like, why he should have stayed, bruh. If you got a job at Comcast and and Time Warner is like, yeah, we'll pay you $30,000 more, you ain't gonna jump on that,
right? Look, these same niggas could work for a black-owned contracting firm, and if they stay together in 5 years, they could be a multi-million-dollar firm. But if a white contracting firm that does the same thing came and offered them triple the fucking money, they're going to take it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're 100% right.
They need to stop with that bull crap, man. And honestly, it kind of goes back to what Killer Mike was saying about pooling our own resources and funding our own political campaigns. Look, if they actually, look, if tomorrow, if those JSU and the FAMU and all those other guys, all those other alums, if they really wanted to do it and they was like, yeah, man, we want to get this or that coach, they could do it if they actually wanted to.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, Texas A&M, like Deion, they acting like Deion got the. They acted like Deion got the biggest contract out there.
Yeah,
folks, let's not forget Texas A&M signed Jimbo Fisher to a $95 million contract, making him the highest paid coach.
They paid a motherfucker named Jimbo all that money, man. But that's a good point you made.
He's not even winning.
Not even winning, man. You're 100% right, and they ain't changed no goddamn culture. But man, appreciate you for giving us a call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. I still got a lot going on in my buildings, and I got other shit to get going. But I wanted to talk about this. I got some shows coming up this week. One topic I want to touch on this week, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, is industry implants. How to identify an industry implant. I want to talk about that sometime this week, and some other things. But yeah, folks, temper your expectations. Let Deion be Deion. Deion is a football coach. He's not Booker T. Washington. Deion is a father, not a politician. Deion, to this point, he ain't done nothing to get in our way. As long as he stays out of our way and don't bring up any pull yourself up by the bootstrap, we our own worst enemy talk, he's good. All right? Bismarck said the same like Chris Brown, a 29-year-old new gangster. Yeah. And stop that gangster talk. I salute Deion for raising fatherhood and manhood. Elevate manhood. Stop that gangster shit. Elevate being a man, not a pimp. We ain't. It's funny too because the real pimps that I know, they ain't even on that shit. That just happened to be a situation that they learn how to make money in. But that's a whole nother topic. Even some pimps that I know would never condone or promote that pimp lifestyle. And they spending their time and they best resources trying to find ways to get about that motherfucker. I mean, you got one nigga who dated two chicks at one time for about 3 months of his life, calling himself a pimp. And niggas feel comfortable with that and talk about pimping and talk about gangster this. You gangster niggas didn't gangster when it came time to be gangster, when we needed gangsters. So that lifestyle, glorifying that's a rap. Glorifying pimping, that's a rap. We're glorifying manhood, success, winning, fatherhood, and love. Doing it with love. Deion approaches this thing on the love vibration. And he's winning on the love vibration. Don't make Deion the Trojan horse. Take the aspects of Deion that you agree with, that you vibrate with, and apply it to whatever part of your life you need that level of confidence and polish on. And if Deion don't resonate with you, that's fool too, because he ain't gonna resonate with everybody. Then let him move on. Just because he don't resonate with you don't mean he don't resonate. So if he don't resonate with you, then that's cool too. All right? And remember this, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Thank y'all again for listening. I'm out.